Good morning, LinkedIn friends, HubSpot Nation. Happy Friday. Time for another episode of Let's Build AI Skills with Nico, George, and Chris. How are we doing today, fellas? It is June 27th, 2025.
Doing good. Doing good. Another week of releases, another week of exciting things.
Hey, let's be honest, it's Friday. It's also the Friday before next week, which, let's be honest, next week is a 4-day week? Because at least in America, we got the 4th of July, which we'll be celebrating. And let's be honest, at the 4th of July, I'm also off the week after that on vacation. So I'm literally sitting a weekend and 4 days away from bliss of probably not paying attention to anything AI because I'll be on a cruise ship. Anyway, that's not why we're here, but I'm doing great.
Sounds like that vacation mindset might be
It's creeping in there, brother. It's
creeping in already. Yeah. Well, we've had some fun all week. I feel like every day Nico's sharing some kind of new app that he's vibed together. Now it's becoming easier than ever. I can't wait to dig in this weekend with Claude, as it's now available in the interface that I'm used to using. I don't have to go anywhere else. And I think that shows a good spectrum of how all the convergence that's happening. And we had a good conversation about that with Blake from HubSpot. We unboxed Content Remix with him earlier on Wednesday, and it was the second time. I had done it right when it came out last April. So much has happened since then in AI and in HubSpot. And the new video platform is in HubSpot. You could start with videos. So I wanted to unbox it again. George and I have been dropping, we've been sharing the HubSpot updates that HubSpot has been dropping every day. And there's been so much Content Remix in there. We're like, all right, let's see what this is about. And I'm going to set some stuff up on my side, but we're going to go through a full campaign today in less than 20 minutes. And while I get that up, George, what were your biggest takeaways?
We're going to try. We're going to
try Wednesday.
We're going to try to do it in 20 minutes. We'll see how far we get. Sometimes when Chris starts to press buttons and flip switches, he tries to do all the things, and all the things take time, but we're going to do the best we can. The first thing, I have to make a statement. Did you hear about the new act of Congress first thing this morning? Yeah, they're banning the word vibe. Quit using the word vibe, Chris. Come on, G-Mini, Chris. I'm so sick of that word vibe, this, vibe, that. Anyway, here's the vibe. Content Remix, HubSpot. Inherently, when you think of the word HubSpot, you don't think AI. Like, maybe some of us do. Some of us nerds know that, this has happened, that has happened. But if you poll the general world audience using HubSpot and you say, give me the first 3 words that come to mind when you think of HubSpot, AI is probably not in the top 3. CRM, marketing, sales, those are all gonna. To tell you that this is quickly turning into an AI platform, or at least a good percentage portion of the platform is turning into AI tools, is probably just a slight understatement. And so to watch during the unboxing of the ability to do things like free flow prompting, or the ability to just make what I've historically called content confetti in seconds, if not maybe minutes. And here's the thing, the thing that really struck me out of the unboxing was Nico, Chris, probably you watching this or listening to this, have run over to Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever, Gemini, whatever tool, DeepSeek, whatever tool you've used, and you've created something or done something, and you've always had to try to pile in context. And one of the things that we alluded to at the end of the boxing, Chris, that I think is important for people who are going to watch what you're about to do and understand that it's in HubSpot is one of the things that we alluded to or talked about at the end was like the context of a list of humans. And I even referenced like, are we getting to a day? And this is either in the inboxing or another show that I was on, but we're getting to the day where HubSpot is not only a CRM, but it's like a LLM or like a mind. It's a mind that you can kind of use. And so being able to like create content confetti, aka remix your content, and part of it be off a free prompt and off of like lists of humans and the context that comes along with that is like craziness. Because talk about specificity winning the day. Like, I want to remix this blog article for this list of humans who have these attributes and traits. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, I'll shut up because you got stuff on screen to show and talk about.
I want to hear what's coming to mind for Nico, because I think this is actually it'll be a good way for me to do this, so I can actually get this thing done in 20 minutes. If you guys can keep going with your commentary as we move forward, but there's also an element of like the power of this. Like, I'm just one person clicking buttons over here. When you
Yeah.
get a team, and this is really where the value of whether you do it by yourself and you got all these people in silos doing it in their own version of their own LLM, whichever one they choose, versus it happening in HubSpot, where
Yeah.
you have team context, business context, customer context, like exponential, like content, not slop though, like
Yeah.
contextual, valuable content for your business, right? There's
Mhm.
ways to do this that, yeah, you can just create a bunch of junk like so quickly. It's so easy to do that now. HubSpot's actually making it a little bit harder, like in lots of ways when you pick up agents, like making sure your settings are in place, making sure your products and services are understood by the agent, things like that. And a lot of that set up in the background, and maybe we'll hit on that by the end. But yeah, the power of doing this in HubSpot is getting harder and harder to resist.
Nico, can I say one thing and then pass it off to you too? So, like, I'm asking, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go anyway. Not because I'm trying to be rude, but like I want to also pinpoint or pull out something that's screaming in my brain right now. At the beginning of the show, Chris said we're gonna try to show this full campaign in 20 minutes. And now
Mm.
Chris said, imagine if it wasn't you, but it was your team. I also want you to imagine what if you spent 20 minutes actually working on the prompts to do the campaign and you gave yourself hours instead of seconds to actually create cool shit. Okay, Nico, go ahead.
No, I think this is absolutely one of those ways in which, again, Sam Altman talked about a couple years ago that it wasn't going to take too long. It was only going to take like a couple of years until there was going to be something. I think I can't remember which model or even if he was like trying to do it based on model number, but I just remember him saying that, like, yeah, in about 2 years, we'll have something that could basically take the place of like an entire marketing agency. And I know when people hear those words, they like get scared and they think, oh, job loss or whatever. But it's like realistically, what I'm seeing this year, and it just continually tells the same story, is I'm seeing the greatest amount of toolkit for the underdog than I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Like if you are a startup, if you're a solopreneur, if you're an SMB, these tools are so powerful for you by comparison to any larger organization. Because the larger orgs already have the headcount. And so they don't want to discount the headcount for the AI tool. But here's this when I'm seeing this like golden opportunity in my mind, because I don't know, like there are just there's just a plethora of people I know that wish they had the time. Like, oh, I don't know somebody I'm looking at right now, Mr. Chris, to be able to take content and chop it up and put it into the channels it needs to be in and serve it up in the way that it should be served up. And they just don't have the time to sit there and dissect it and pull it all apart and do it in the right formats and in the right amount of time to even be able to launch it so that it's still worthwhile, right? So that it's even relevant. And
by the way, Nico, if you're gonna throw Chris under the bus, you should throw me under the bus too, because I don't have time. But if you looked at my channels, you wouldn't know that I don't have time. But again, I'm backing up what you're saying. I have a human that clips the stuff up, that puts the things out, that help so Chris has the ability to use the tools that you're talking about to scale himself. I probably do have, but also can have a human that I can augment to even do that as well, right? And here's the thing, I'll shut up after this, but here's one thing, Chris, might blow your mind, Nico might blow your mind. I was sitting at my dining room table yesterday, and I looked over at my daughter, who happens to be also the social media manager of our organization, and she does client work too. And I said, "Hey, you need to check out Content Remix in HubSpot, and you need to start learning it. It's gotten to that point," which were words that I never thought that I would tell her, because we have other tools in place.
Well, not only that, but like, in fairness, Content Remix was like 4 months ago, it was cute.
Yeah. Now it's not cute. It's pretty dang powerful. But so I'm trying to paint the picture of like, yes, I agree with everything you're saying. And also, me personally have gotten to the point where it's starting to change the conversations that I'm having with myself and team members on a daily basis.
Yeah. And I just want to highlight a couple things here before I click this next regenerate button. At this point, like 4 clips have already been generated. The first 2 came from just the video, right? And it created these four different asset types: video, clips, social, email, and a blog post over here behind this card. Then all I did was add this website page, which is a pricing page for the mastermind that is launching next week. And just adding the page, since I added it in this box where the source material is to create the remix stuff,
Yeah.
it redid it. It redid the content automatically. So probably a double-edged sword there if you're not careful. If you like what's happening here and you want to add stuff in, like, it's going to redo it. But that's what I was hopeful for it to happen. As I did that, these clips were originally like 30 and 40 seconds long. The 2 moved to 120 and 123. Now I'm gonna ask it to focus on clips that definitely support this program that's launching. I'm gonna ask for 4 clips, and I'm giving it some instructions of 90 to 180 seconds long. Try not to cut anybody off, right? Just seeing if that's gonna work.
Yeah.
This is where, like, I've done so much in Claude to set up projects and understand when to instruct, when not to. I have a similar learning curve over here now. And I always try to start from a place of not over prescribing what I want to happen, just to understand. Because Breeze, by the way, Breeze and the whole AI layer of HubSpot, like, if I get it, like last year, like a few months ago, not the best experience in a lot of places. And it was much more common to hear that than it was people loving it.
So
Well, the game has changed completely as they've rebuilt Breeze. And like, Breeze Copilot is just one window, like, into the AI infrastructure of the platform. And that kind of experience, it's just, if they're rebuilding it over here, that means other spaces are impacted, and it's a better experience all over the place, much more conversational. And you can tell it can see and understand much more of the portal than it could in the past.
So, Chris, if I put my audience hat on for a second, can I ask you a question and beg you to unpack something you just said? You said, I added this website page and it redid it, which might be a double-edged sword, but I was hoping that that's what it would do. Can you unpack the why you were hoping that's what it would do based on you gave it more information that it would do the redo?
Yes. So you can see the name of this is Value First Scoring campaign. We've got a mastermind series that Casey's leading to help people. The lead scoring tools, the legacy lead scoring tools are going away at the end of August 31st. We're going to try our best to help people not wait until that moment to move into the new lead scoring tools, which are better in almost every single way. And it's in everybody's best interest, especially those who have KPIs related to scoring, to move into those tools. But they work different, right? It's not a copy paste. And so she's leading that mastermind. This video that you guys did yesterday was just conversation about, scoring, best practices, grievances about how it's always been and now what it could be. And at the end, she mentions the series like in over a minute, right? But if I'm building a campaign to try and support that really revenue motion, right? I'm trying to build revenue off of this series, and you can kind of see different options to help people to get help, with scoring.
Yep.
I want to drive, I want to match the education over here with some intentional like messages that will support that
Yep.
that revenue campaign really is what it is. Like so
So what I hear you saying is the context of the conversation changed. Therefore, the content that is distributed about it should change. Yeah.
yes. Yep. So thank you for that clarification.
Yep.
And so here I've got the clips and we've got 12 minutes left. So we're gonna save and edit an app that creates a clip.
Right in HubSpot, ladies and gentlemen. If
Yep.
you're not freaking, if you haven't seen this, you're not freaking out right now that it's like a Riverside text-based kind of editing system.
Well, and like that's the thing, right? So like, as you guys are looking at this, I've said it before, and I know Chris has said it, and it's definitely like it's just a thing that like what you're looking at is just the beginning, right? With the way in which this technology works, it is this case where like everybody is going to have everything. So just like in the span of 4 months, HubSpot has, your meeting recorder. It's got a meeting video recorder. Now you can actually store your Zoom messages and your Zoom videos. Now all of a sudden you're actually able to do like deep content remix and actually like edit videos and edit based on text in the video on the transcript, right? These are all features that you'll find in like CapCut, in Adobe Premiere, in Adobe After Effects, in a lot of other like video editing software platforms. And I can guarantee you, I just saw some stuff on CapCut this morning that directly competes with Adobe's, and Adobe on like the highest level. Like they just released being able to erase stuff in video, right? Like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, and CapCut has it already.
Yeah.
So I can see that all coming to HubSpot, right? I can absolutely, I mean, like HubSpot's already working with Runway, right? So they already have like image gen and video gen, sort of video gen, I think, taken from them. I think image gen from Midjourney. So I see them partnering with CapCut and bringing that in. I mean, look, what I saw from Mark Benioff yesterday was a almost practically a white flag in the air of like, all we know how to do is sales and we do it really well and we have agents.
Wow.
Right? HubSpot has sales, marketing, service, customer success, management, revenues, operations, inventories, project management, right?
CPQ.
Like just whatever. It's all, and the thing is like, okay, it may not do it all amazingly today.
Yeah.
Give it 2 months. And then if it doesn't do it 2 months from now, give it another 2 months. And I don't mean that in the sense of like give it forever, because honestly, about 6 months from now, it will be impossible. It will be really, really close to impossible to complain about the ease of use of this platform and like the 80-20 of it, right? So if you're unfamiliar with the 80-20 rule, it's basically you should always, especially in the land of AI, you should always be gearing things to having to do 20% of the lift to get 80% of the outcome. Okay.
Yeah.
You're pretty much watching that with Chris. This is practically 80-20. This would be like 60-40 in my world, right? Which is still really good compared to the old version of Content Remix that was like 20-80 or something. You know, it was like almost reverse, but it did a little bit for you. And just in such a quick amount of time to see this stuff advance to such a level where like, oh, dump your stuff in, add a little bit of context. Here's a prompt, add a web page, and poof, here's all the content that you needed from that episode, you know, diced, sliced, however you wanted it for all the different outputs.
That's another thing. First of all, I love that you dove into the Pareto's principle, like the whole 80-20 thing. Like that's just a life in general thing that you should probably pay attention to. But anyway, for AI, without a doubt. But that's the other thing, Nico, that you just sparked during the unboxing that I had a like, oh crap moment, is where you can actually use the theme that is in your HubSpot portal to like, so when you tell it to build a page off of Remix, it will build it using the theme that is active in your portal. So it's not like it's using just dumb HubSpot default stuff. It's going to inject into the actual thing that you're used to using. And so again, making that lift less difficult because now you're saying, I'm starting from scratch. Other than this thing, can you create a page for me? Yes, we'll use your theme. Here's the beginning of a page. By the way, AI assisted. Now go be human powered and actually tweak it to what you want to launch it as. That's the other thing is I think what Chris is showing too is we're getting to a really dope starting point. Chris is not actually trying to head to the finish line right now. Chris is headed to a starting point to then finesse it to get to a finish line.
That's correct. And like all these tabs that are open, like well, definitely email, social, video. That's like different teams in some companies, different people at least.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where like I think you know it's kind of hard to put into context when you hear about job creation right now. And you're starting to hear more about AI engineers, AI like coordinators, things like that. Like imagine if you just added this role right now, somebody that could just engineer amazing remixes.
Yeah.
And now all these other teams just have all their assets like 80% done, right?
Yeah, and it just shifts, right? From being a content editor or a content creator, you now become a content editor because the content's already made. And now you're just you know, everybody gets to play the role of the orchestrator. Right.
Which by the way, like, and I don't know if I have not heard anybody say this, but where my mind goes in the conversation we're having right now, if you've historically been creating content for years, you may want to employ a new human that their one and only job is to create content confetti using Content Remix on the thousands of blog articles and videos and webinars that you have. Because imagine again, if you take your time and you do it right and you're creating good confetti, imagine the online impact that you can have with new content based on historical content that you can update along the way. Like it's funny. My brain is going to like Gary Vee and how he used to talk about like posting this many times and people are like, that's nuts. Like we can't do that. We gotta Netflix and chill and eat dinner. Like there's no way like now you literally have a tool that you could do way more, way faster and act. But will you? That's my question. Will you? Listen, I would hire somebody if you're an organization just for this. Like a remix master for your organization.
And I mean, being able to like sit like just from like my way back at this point, being in, I remember being in like graphic design meetings and being in meetings that were for campaigns just like this. And we would be looking over all the creative for whatever, for like, next layout with video that was going to go on the website and website content and the copy and all that. And we'd have that like one weekly meeting where you just sit there and stare at everything on a screen and you'd look at it all separately. And, hopefully somebody remembered what was on slide 1 so that by the time you're on slide 25, you still understand it, right? The game has changed so much with just this one tool. Like if we had this back then to sit there and be able to look at the videos in minutes, right? Instead of like by the time you're sort of talking through the idea, then you're hitting generate, then you're just talking around, tossing around ideas. And by the time you're done with that, all of a sudden you're now reviewing the content.
Well,
here's
you're able to,
yeah,
Nico, here's what's fun is you're bringing old school. And I would say this is where old school could meet new school too, because like, listen, I'm not saying get rid of the creative briefs. Because by the way, I've sat and looked at a ton of creative briefs back when it was designer George versus HubSpot George. But like, because you can do multi assets, like imagine just bringing the creative brief into the remix of the video and of the page. And that it's just that additional context of human brain power, creative brief into AI assisted power, remixing the content confetti. Like that's the thing too. I think some people get in this mind of it's like this or that. No, it's this and that. Like, don't lose everything that you knew before. Just bring it along to the party.
That's the whole point. It's like, I'm still coming across portals of non-A/B test users.
Oh yeah.
You all look so weird to me at this point. You look so weird because like it didn't cost you much before. It costs you nothing now. Like it's such a joke to do A/B content now. So it's really, really weird to me because that's one of those things, from design. It's like everybody wants to fight over which design they think has the most impact, right? And you spend more time sitting there trying to narrow down to the one, as opposed to doing what George is saying, which is send them all.
Yeah,
what's the big deal?
Let's clarify though. We think you look marvelous. Okay, you look marvelous, darling. Your action of not A/B testing is what looks weird. But we think you are beautifully made, a wonderful human being. Just start A/B testing. That's what we're saying.
I do. I should clarify. When I say you look weird, I mean your portal. Like you look weird.
Yeah.
Because that's all I do. At this point, I don't like interface with people as much anymore. I interface with portals.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. See, and I'm like that, right? So you know how it is. You know how it is, guys. Right up until Chris hit that button, right? All your uppers would have been like, yeah, but I still can't see the final thing, so I really don't know how it's going to look until we can see it. Maybe you can put it in the mock-up. Well, there it is.
There's the mock-up.
Can we just note that, like, so what I did is I saved as template, right? Like our favorite kind of HubSpot thing. Let's figure it out and then clone the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Right. So I knew we had done there was 2 roundtables that have happened, right? And of course, this is coming from a strategic place where roundtables and getting people just talking about the thing, like realizing the vision of everybody knows if you can start with video first, live human conversations, the whole rest of the campaign can be better. Right. So I had another one. So it's like, let's do a template and let's grab that other one. And since I had put the work in the instructions, all those prompts were already done. It's given me 4 clips off the gate with the instructions I gave it. And how crazy is it that the video clips were done before the email was done?
Yeah, right.
That is kind of nuts.
So look, folks, and mind you, I didn't complete the campaign, but we're not at a place where this should just run over to social media on its own, right?
Ooh, I know why the videos were done first.
If we're serious about like we are serious about human in the loop, but let's not make humans do all this stuff that requires just this painstaking approach to, do we got the message right? Are we aligned across teams? All of it. Because there's a bunch of settings in the background that says this is what Value First is, this is what the brand voice is, this is the products and services, these are our target market. All that stuff's done, which all your teams have done. So I'm glad you brought up briefs, George, because they all have them.
Yep.
Now you just bring them together in here and watch the magic happen. And all of a sudden, everybody's auto-magically aligned.
Oh, you used the word.
Like,
Yes. Yeah.
oh man. So we could keep going for a while here, but hopefully that was helpful. Just get in here, do some video first, like please. Like, you probably already have some that you haven't done anything with.
I hope
Because
so.
traditionally it's been hard. You've had to outsource it. You have to find some fairly costly help to clip it up in a meaningful way. Bring it into HubSpot now and watch the magic happen.
Because by the way, we didn't even mention that like once you get the clips that you love, you can now publish from HubSpot to YouTube. And then that ties your analytics from YouTube into HubSpot around that video. Like, so not only we having a conversation of like start here because it's a lot easier, but I want to have the micro conversation of start here because you're going to be able to report that ROI that you care so much about right after it's done as well.
Speaking of Value First scoring,
just saying.
Well said, George. Well, we got an update show to do. So hopefully that was helpful just to see it in action. A few clicks away, folks. So thanks so much as always to George and Nico, and I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Till next time.
Enjoy, everybody. Go make content confetti.